Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to All Wrestling Talk Nation with C-Double. Tonight's guest, Bloodbound Warrior. Now sit back and enjoy this special tag team edition of All Wrestling Talk Indie Superstar Spotlight. What's going on, everybody? This is C-Double, and this is July 23rd, 2015, and this is Indie Superstar Spotlight. Thanks for the little delay. Kind of happens when we do these shows, but loving the fact that we got everybody together. So, ladies and gentlemen, special tag team edition. We did it last night. We're doing it again tonight. Let me introduce you guys to two really awesome wrestlers. First, we're going to introduce Mr. Grey Wolf and his tag team. All right, and his tag team partner, Mr. Red Scorpion.
Hey.
All right, those guys are the Bloodbound Warriors. And, guys, thank you so much for being a part of All Wrestling Talk Nation.
Thank you very much for having us.
Well, guys, you know, it's just we have two wrestlers today on the same show with me as my guests. You know, we're going to kind of do it like this. Grey Wolf, I'll have you ask or answer first. Mark, you follow up with whatever you like to say too, okay?
And real quick, if you don't mind, it's either Scorp or Scorpion.
All right, Scorp. All right, I apologize. I won't use the government name like I try to keep it as C-Double. So, Red Scorp, that's how we're going to go. So, Red Scorpion, Grey Wolf. So, let's go ahead and ask number one question that usually we like to ask all the time. Grey Wolf and Scorp, what got you into this business? What wanted you to become wrestlers and to do this wonderful thing we call indie wrestling?
No, this is a question I'm quite frequently asked. And, you know, when I was younger, you see all sorts of different combat. And me, especially being inspired by, you know, a lot of the old literature and a lot of these old tales of the heroes of ancient, you know, Rome, ancient Greece, and, you know, the Nordic tales, you know, people like Egypt. You really come to want to be like these heroes. You know, you hear all the epic things they've done, and, you know, what grander stage, you know, you see, as a child especially, these larger-than-life characters, these heavily muscled men, going at each other in the fiercest combat possible in the middle of the ring, you know, and I feel like that's the closest thing that we have, you know, that spectacle to being one of those heroes and, you know, accomplishing those feats and, you know, just going on, you know, against the hardest, fiercest adversaries you can possibly find, the biggest men in the world, you know, head-to-head with each other in martial combat, you know, in the middle of the ring in a big arena, you know, just the allure to that, you know, really, really drew me to that. You know, you want to become that. You feel like I could be that person in that ring, you know, and that's what really drew me towards this field especially.
All right. Red Scorp, what about you?
Yeah, my answer is very, very different. Growing up, I watched wrestling, but I never inspired to ever be a professional wrestler because I was real with myself and I understood that I wasn't given the genetic makeup to be 6'5", you know, 280 some pounds of muscle, like a lot of the guys I grew up watching. So my avenue was more so football, and I did amateur wrestling, but I got really heavy into weightlifting and weight training. Because I was so small, I had to make up for, you know, what I lacked. And I started off in bodybuilding. Now, and I was very successful early on. I had a friend of mine, JB, who wrestles for Ring of Honor. Me, him, and another friend of ours, which is Young Son, went to a show. It was the SWO, and it was held at the Lake Souls Resort. And I got to see Nikolai Volkov in the ring. He was the headliner for the show. And I tell you what, a man in his 70s, or I tell you what, he could still go. And that was pretty amazing to myself. But again, I never inspired to be a professional wrestler. It was him who really wanted it. I, at the time, was still getting ready for company. I last show that I did was September 2nd, 2011. It was the IFBB North American, where I placed like 18th. Now, there were 20-some competitors there, which, you know, seems like I finished at the bottom of the pack, but yet I looked the best I had ever looked. And despite that, I knew that I really didn't even have the genetics to be successful at a national level, let alone a professional level in bodybuilding. So I concentrated my efforts on professional wrestling, and since then, I have had so much fun because now I'm really able to utilize my creative ability in the Red Scorpion and do all the things that I love in life, all wrapped up into the Red Scorpion. And you see that in my character of everything that I've ever been involved with, from my favorite wrestler to my school to my zodiac sign to my genre of movies and things that I like to watch. It's all in the Red Scorpion.
Wow. You know, I love the difference of personalities that you guys have. And let's talk, you know, let's go to the beginning. Let's go to basics. You know, did you guys get trained? You know, Ray Wolf will ask you, and you know, same for you, Red Scorp. But you know, training. Who were guys that you know helped you along your way in getting better in the ring? I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, Red Scorp, but guys that kind of helped mold you, got you kind of you know figured out how to do this wonderful thing we call wrestling.
Oh, where do I even begin there? I'm afraid to name people because I'm afraid I'm going to leave people out. Well, I got my start originally, and I still, with great pride, say I was trained at the Monster Factory. And you're probably familiar with it. Larry Sharp opened the school over 30 years ago, and we put on more names of WWE, WCW, ECW, TNA than anyone else in the world. As you know, names like Tatanka, Bam Bam Bigelow, Big Show, Headbangers, you know, Cliff Compton, just to name a few, have come from our great training facility. Right now we have a few students that are going down to NXT for a tryout. Just the other year we had Steve Cutler from the Monster Factory train, you know, down and get a contract for NXT, and he's working for NXT right now down in Florida. But specifically, when I started training there, it was a different facility. It was Larry Sharp had still owned it, and it was a different trainer than we have now. And it was, you know, the harshest environment you could possibly imagine. This is a story I'd love to relate because, you know, in order to really get to know this and have to endure things, you really have to go through the trenches, and that's what this really was. You know, we had no heat and no air conditioning, so in the dead of winter, it was 15 degrees. We're starting off bump drills in the middle of the ring, and it was an old ring. It had no give to it. It was, you know, an old IWA boxing/wrestling ring, so it really had no give. So you're doing that, and in the middle of summer, you're opening up with hard chain wrestling. You know, you're sweating bullets, and, you know, between drills, you're going outside to vomit, you drink a little bit of water, you come back, you get back in the ring, and that's just, you know, what it was. It was, you know, when it wasn't an old warehouse. So, you know, every time it rained, you'd have rain pouring through the roof, and we'd have to get huge buckets and tubs and, you know, carry them out when it started raining. Now, in 2011, Danny Cage, the current owner, took over the Monster Factory, and what he did with it is just absolutely incredible. And the children down there, you know, the students have no idea how good they have it and how well it treats them and takes care of them. You know, now it's a state-of-the-art facility in Paulsville, New Jersey, with full amateur wrestling mats, 2 different rings in which the students can train, you know, full lights, full setup, full music, just a great training facility with all the amenities. And it's just an unbelievable place, and I have great pride in mentioning and saying that I've come from the Monster Factory and have my name attached to that great legacy of everyone who's come before in that place. But as far as people, you know, who've influenced and helped mold me into the ring, there's so many people in the face, you know, that would leave people out. Danny Cage, obviously, is one of my mentors, and other people I, you know, cite as my mentor. You know, Brutal Bob Evans, I've done a few seminars with him, become, you know, pretty good friends with him. And one of the best seminars you'll ever go, if you ever have the opportunity as a wrestler to attend a seminar, Brutal Bob Evans is probably one of the best you can. Good friends of mine, you know, people like Jason Knight, Pitbull Gary Wolf, Rock and Rebel, Tom Brandy, Axel Rotten to a certain degree, and Hangman Holly Watkins, Jack Molson. You know, these are all people. These are people. You know, these are veterans. And you know, I always say to the younger people coming up, especially, you know, when you're in the locker room with somebody, you take a chair and you pull it up next to a veteran, you just listen. And I was fortunate enough to have, you know, these people by my side and these people in my ear, and just that would take in everything they have to say, and, you know, listen and absorb all of their knowledge and try to apply it myself to, you know, try to accomplish some of the things that they've accomplished because they've been around for so long. And I know there's hundreds of people I'm leaving out. Q-Ball Carmichael's another person. You know, I haven't had the chance to get to meet him in person, but I've talked with him quite frequently online, and I follow him greatly because he's a great tutor and a great instructor for anybody who's looking to be in the professional wrestling business. I take his word and I take it for road because I have so much respect for him and what he's done in the business. And there's so many people I'm forgetting. It's just a list off the top of my head, and I apologize to anybody's name I didn't mention. But you take a little bit from everywhere. You take, you know, the veterans, and you take those who have come before you, and you try to take what they've done and apply it to your own art and your own craft and do it in your own way, and really do them justice in the ring when you step between the ropes. I mean, that's probably about the best I can answer that without having to think of too many more names.
You're doing awesome so far. Red Scorp, sorry. I'm going to get better at this.
So, yeah, you better. Now, where I started training at the Wolf Den in York, Pennsylvania, the 2565 Valley Road, York, PA, under Wolfman W. Baker. Now, Wolfman worked a bit for ECW, doing the ring rentals and stuff. I think Bill Wild at the Mount St. referred him as the sweeper. Can I cuss on this, by the way?
Go ahead. It is okay. I can always put a rental on it.
He was the sweeping up asshole guy from, according to Bill Wild. Now, that's where I first started, and I learned my basics there. Along the way, Haynes, I guess Eric Haynes, Haynes Ringworth, I always called him Haynes, was another mentor of mine who really helped me out, especially with the psychology of wrestling, and somebody whom I look up to a great deal. Also, Rob Noxious, who has a school in Lewistown, Fort Noxious. He runs a classic championship wrestling, was another kind of like a father figure to me, and would never bullshit me, would give it to me straight, you know, despite my look and everything. I had a lot of maybe smoke being blown up my ass according to him, but he always gave it to me straight, you know, and for that I appreciate him. I always had great constructive criticism. Later, I was able to get the opportunity to work with Ray at the Monster Factory, and I have trained there, and I have gone to, I try to get to every seminar that I possibly can, and that's the benefit that other schools don't exactly have. Is the ability to bring people in, to you know, the guys that have been where you're trying to go, and that's a powerful, powerful thing. And like Ray was stated, like every time I leave, I take something from every seminar that I've gone to, every place, you know, and you can see it in my work. You know, despite the reputation that Wolfman might have among some of his peers around the business, I can say this. I can say I was trained properly, and everything I do now, I did then. I do nothing now different. Only with help of the Monster Factory, really help, you know, kind of fine tune things and better my wrestling skills. Also, I'd like to give props to Eddie Valentine, who was a trainer at LCW, as well as Andrew Backlund. They've also been a great help. And most recently, I'm trying to step my game up and get a little more technical. And lately, we've been having Tim Doss come to Ranks Championship Wrestling and working with the guys. And that has really, you know, just added a new variable to my game.
Awesome. All right, so let's get like technical here in this regard. You know, you guys Obviously great physiques, but what was the biggest challenge for you guys learning wrestling? Was it the actual bumps? Was it getting used to developing the character? What was it the probably the toughest challenge to go over the hurdle for you guys?
For me personally, I believe performing some of the more athletic maneuvers, being a bigger person, a bigger framed person, and carrying a good degree of muscularity, it limits your mobility just a little bit if you don't really keep on top of it. Same thing with your flexibility. So you can be a little limited there. But for me, it was more of the athletic sort of maneuvers and just executing them properly. I really had to break them down, taking step at a time in order to really get that. For me, performance and charisma sort of were almost second nature, I want to say. That was one of the things I was very, very good at early on. And I think just for me personally, it was just more learning and executing the moves and taking moves properly. And that's probably the hardest part for me, was learning that.
All right, there, Rescort.
Yeah, for me, again, charisma. I was meant for this. I mean, really. I was born to wrestle, and I'm sorry I didn't get involved earlier, or even knew about it for that matter. Again, another person I like to give thanks to who helped me along the way. Obviously, the JD as well. But as far as me, I would have to say it would have to be ring psychology. Because, early on when I first got into the business, you have to work with vets and they really help you and they help you develop it. But it was still something that I struggled with because I've seen wrestling really evolve over since when I was watching it as a kid. It gets really confusing sometimes. It's not as simple as your face shine, cut off, feel heat, turn around spot, come back and take it home. It's not always that simple. Recently I've been having the opportunity to wrestle like 20-minute, 30-minute matches. And these matches, there's a lot of ups and downs to them. And I remember, again, with that ring psychology that Hayne helped me with, it was like, you never want the face to get eye to eye with you. If you do, like QT Marshall said, you cut him back down, and you keep the heat on. But that was one of the things that, I struggle with and I still do because, it just feels like, watching some of my matches, boy, I get my butt whooped. Now I'm talking about singles. Tag teams is a whole new animal. It is a whole nother animal. And, and that's just about what's watching tape, but, no stories are safe. But I just hope at the end of the day, we elicit an emotion and get a response out of the crowd that we're desiring. And, if we can do that, then we're doing our jobs and we're telling the story, and therefore we become, worth something to the promoter and they'll bring us back. So I think one of the biggest challenges to myself would have to be ring psychology.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love asking that question because it puts a whole new light on, the struggles for wrestlers, because there's many different avenues. Now, let's go ahead and talk about something you guys are, very good with, the tag team aspect. Let's kind of get into that. When did you guys, how long have y'all been tag teaming? And, how long have y'all been in the business altogether? And then basically, when you guys formed this team, you came up with the name. What were the idea? How did you guys come up with the ideas of the presentation of the Bloodbound Warriors? How did you come up with the name in that aspect?
That's a really great question all around. If I might answer, when I started, for me, it's going to be overall in the business. I'll be in 10 years in November. We recently started tagging. What was it, Scorpion? It was about 2 years ago now. It was over 2 years ago.
I think it's been well over 2 years.
Has it been that long? Yeah. Well, anyway, um, we started as enemies, if you believe that or not. Because I was working for SWO at the time, and Scorpion, was coming up and he was training for SWO and starting to work shows for them at the time. And, you see these two people who have a similar look, a similar build, a similar attitude, similar presentation. There's a lot, and I'd like to say this is, as a tag team, where one lacks, the other picks up. There's certain parts where I'm lacking, and he'll pick up the slack for me, and certain parts where he's not as good, and I sort of complete that. So you have these complementary sort of people in the ring together, and we beat the tar out of each other on many occasions for SWO, for Triple WA. We've started, as rivals, and everyone would say to us, everywhere I went, "Oh, do you know the Red Scorpions? We two look great together as a tag team." And everywhere he'd go, "Oh, do you know Grey Wolf? You look, good together with Grey Wolf as a tag team." And eventually, we were working in SWO, and the Molson brothers were the top tag team there at the time. And I don't know if you know the Molson brothers now. Each of them were about 6'5" and 400 pounds. They're just two behemoths of individuals. Who's going to take these two monsters out? Well, at the time we were feuding, and I was a heel at the time, and they were beating up on Scorpion. And I come running out of the curtain and saved him, and that's sort of how the Bloodbound Warriors were born. We started it in SWO as a tag team there. They only worked, I think, 1 or 2 shows together as that tag team in SWO. Then Danny Cage had the idea at the Monster Factory. He saw Scorpion. He's like, "I want to partner you with Scorpion." And that's sort of when we really made it official as a tag team. He brought Scorpion in as my partner. We've just been sort of going from place to place ever since. And it really is a complementary dynamic, as I said. We both have a similar look, similar presentation, similar style. There's a little nuances here and there. We're obviously both power wrestlers. We use our strength to our advantage. We're both very over-the-top people in all aspects of our life. That's just what we do. Even from the moment we arrive at the venue, he has everything he has, and I'd like to say he has everything scorpified. He'll take a T-shirt and he'll just have scorpions. He's very, very creative in that facet. But everything's red and black, and scorpions all over me. I'm a whore for leather and spikes, so I'll arrive at my venue and I'll have the leather and the spikes on, and he'll have, and this is just our everyday who we are. This isn't anything out of the ordinary for us. We're both very over-the-top people to begin with, and then you put that together, and it's a very complementary dynamic to each other, and I just think it fits so well. And I've been in many tag teams over the years, and it was I feel every time it was very forced. Even though I might get along with the person and gel well with the person, there's always something lacking or something missing, and it was always a very forced tag team. It was very hodgepodge, because if you have it really, can look like me. I remember one time a few years back, they tagged me with a person I was holding the tag team belts with, Louis Damiana at the Monster Factory, and that's Nick Camarado. He was a big beast of a man. He's a 6'3", 275 pounds, amateur wrestling background. And they tagged me a thing that worked a little bit, but still, there's always something a little off, something never really quite flowed. And they put us together, and it just instantly with us and with the fans and everything, it just clicked, and everything sort of fell together. You find your soulmate in life. Well, you find your tag team soulmate. Now I understand the connection. What a lot of time tag teams have with their partner. I feel I have with him. Because everything sort of just fits in.
All right. Scorp, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, good. We got you dropped, but we got you back. So, all right. So you heard Grey Wolf. Now I want to hear your answer to the question.
Okay, I'll try to take you to different avenues. So this is pretty much gave you that version, like a very general. Again, like you said, we did feud at first, and we had great battles. We really did. And same thing. Everywhere I go, just like you said, people would say, "Hey, Grey Wolf." Matter of fact, sometimes they would say, "Call me Grey Wolf," and I'm like, "Oh,
I've been called Red Scorpion."
Yes, he has. And matter of fact, I remember being at a show and this family actually was at a Triple WA show and then came to a Balor show in Northtown, and they said that same thing. They said, "We just said called Grey Wolf Red Scorpion at her accidentally," and I was like, I laughed. But anyway, let's talk about a ring entrance. So I have a particular way I do my ring entrance. where I come up, I strike my money shot, as Robbie E would say. He was one of the seminars that I was at, and I come down into this predator pose. And by the way, you know, Craig Matthews, they got it on the predator pose. I did that. Okay, so I hit my predator pose. Grego stands behind me. He raises those arms up, and boy, do we look like we just stepped out of the pages of Marvel Comics. So, you know, that's how we collectively came together. We bring this spring entrance. One of the things that Grego said that I never did was that whole thing. It's weird as hell to me. I'm gonna put it out there. It's just weird, okay? It's weird, and I don't. But let me just say this: the fans, yes, the fans, they love it. They love it. They really did. That's the way we can get it. You know, get the fans involved, and they just love it. And we do each side of the ring, and that's another thing. You know, now as far as you talk about the finisher, because I got cut off there.
No, I didn't talk about the finish now.
Well, let's talk about our finisher. Let's talk about the Blood Eagle. Okay, the Blood Eagle is actually something that the Vikings had did to an adversary or somebody who betrayed them. And so if you ever watch the movie or the show on History Channel, the Vikings, you'll see this actual, I don't know how to explain it, ritual that they do where they peel the skin off of the guy alive. Okay, they separate his ribs and they take his lungs and they attach it to the back of his shoulders, and it opens up and looks like an eagle until he basically dies. And the idea is you cannot scream while this is going on. For if you do, then you're not worthy enough to go to Valhalla. But if you don't, well then you don't bring shame to your family, and it's something of that nature. So, but the Blood Eagle, I remember driving to the Monster Factory, and I'm going through all these tag team videos on the way down there, looking at, what can we do as a finisher? Because, Jerry Case just gave us a finisher, and then we did like a double spine buster. And I wasn't really feeling it. I didn't think it was that. I wanted to do something a little more where it shows off our strength and our agility. Or my agility, I should say. Our agility. So I came up, I found Crime Time and what is it, G9? Something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
So they hit this like a fireman's carry, a small and drop neck breaker. And that was it. That's where the Blood Eagle finisher came in.
Wow. I got to go here. You guys are very descriptive. I mean, just really are. I mean, I love it. It's great. I'm enjoying this interview. Really, I am. I got to ask. Okay, so now you guys are teaming up. Where all have you guys worked? I mean, I know I've seen you guys on Ring of Honor. I remember it was against Moose. And some other guy, and I can't remember the guy's name, so I should tell you something.
RD.
Yes. Okay. So, and that's because I was dealing with a whole lot of other stuff. But I liked the match because when I saw you guys, how many times do you hear it? But, you just have that look of the old school tag teams. I'm talking not just the Road Warriors. I'm talking Powers of Pain. I'm talking Demolition. I'm talking guys that just went into that character. Because to me, that's what sets you apart from the wrestlers I was seeing in the indies and also in the tag team rings. So talk a little bit about that.
This is often quite a comparison. I often hear Road Warriors, I hear Powers of Pain, quite a bit. Once in a while, Demolition. Most recently, and this is funny, I'll give you a little background story on this. We get compared to, what's the name? I can't quite remember. There's still names, the Descension?
Yes.
They'll call them the Descension.
Okay, Descension.
because we're descendants of the Black God Warrior. So what happened is I had a tryout with WWE, and a few weeks after I'd done that, they'd seen my presentation, my appearance, and the next couple of weeks later, they throw that same look on the Ascension. But we're not going to touch on that really. But no, we really do get compared more often than not. Especially Road Warriors and House of Pain is quite often what I hear. And I am going to go bold enough to say that we are the most destructive tag team. We are the most powerful tag team right now out there. And there's none that are going to match our strength and none that are going to match our intensity. And if anybody thinks they can step forth and bring that, well, they're going to be proven wrong. That they cannot stand up to our power. They cannot stand up to our intensity. They cannot stand up to our tenacity. So in that degree, I really feel like we do try to carry on that legacy a little bit. But we do things a little bit our own way, too. We are quite a power team. Scorpion especially likes to do a lot more of the athletic maneuvers. I stick to just throwing people around and beating them up and tossing them over my head. That's just what I like to do. I like to see bodies go flying, so I take a body and I make it fly. And then Scorpion makes his own body fly and lands on somebody. And it all works out. It works out very well. But I think we just bring a different element to that old school. We take the old school sort of tag team and we add a new twist to it. We innovate it a little bit and we bring a more modern presentation, something new, something fresh, something the fans could be fascinated with and really connect to. And compared to those who have come before us, but to a certain degree, be something completely our own altogether. Almost reinvent that style. So I really feel like that's the road we've taken. That's sort of the road we're going down. And that's personally why I'm very happy where it is right now.
All right, Res Corp.
Yeah, I'd like to say this. When I first saw Grey Wolf at the SWO, I'm sitting in the stands. I'm still paying my dues. Not yet on the show. I tell you what, I was a fan. Whether he's working heel, whether he's working face, I was a fan. And I remember sitting there, and he came out with this red and black tape. And I thought to myself, damn, he looks tough as hell. I wish I thought of that first. But later when I went to the Monster Factory, Danny Cage was like, I want you guys with full body paint. I mean, full. It's so. And I'm like, what? I've never done this before. Whoa. I was like, holy shit, what am I going to do? So I watched Grey Wolf, and Grey Wolf, he's raw. I mean, you don't get no raw, rough, and tough, or than Grey Wolf. I'm telling you, this guy took a paper towel. He took a gallon jug of water and some acrylic paint, and he made, and he would put he would dip his hand in the packet, crack it on his chest, and he painted his whole body red. And I'm like, I gotta do this? So I want to do this. So I'll tell you what, my first paint job, and it's actually on the for some odd reason, the guy who made the flyer for the Keystone Cup that's coming up at LCW on August 15th. It's a tag team tournament. He happened to use this one particular picture. And then in the picture, yes. And
agree with that, the paint too.
Yes, that's what I'm feeling with too. Is that it's on the wall of the wild face monster for all eyes to see. And the one person who paints himself up from head to toe doesn't have any body paint on. And the one person whose first time it was me. And let me tell you this, I look like a red and black zebra with a Loch Ness monster on my face because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And this is no lie. So to make matters worse, after I do this hideous paint job, okay, I didn't put in my red eye. As you know, Grey Wolf's right eye is gray, the Red Scorpion's left eye is gray. And I got paint now all in my fingers, and if you don't know anything about acrylic paint, it dries up, and it just, it sucks. Okay, but it looks great while it's on, but then it starts, when it comes off, it just crumbles off. So your ring gear, that is for the opponents that we wrestle, know this, you won't get paint on. And for the promoters, we will not ruin your canvas so you can just keep it off. But then I had to put in my contact, and that was a challenge as well. So, you know, I think later on though, you know, I'm one of those people. I learn and I adapt. Okay, I adapt to my surroundings. Put me in a dark place while I go out and I get lanterns. Take me to a show and you got no chairs for me to sit in. Well, I go and I buy myself a chair because I will always have a chair. You see, I learn and I adapt. So I went out. I got myself rubber gloves. You should see me in my undies. Standing in front of, yep. And that's nothing. We went to a show. We got no mirrors. Well, guess what? I got a mirror. And I had a mirror. And now me and Greg were fighting over this mirror. So you know what I did? I went out and I bought another mirror. So now we have two mirrors. One for Grey Wolf and one for myself. Because there has been many times at the Montspector Sport, we're in basically a gym that has mirrors. The whole gym is mirrors. You know?
Right.
So, you know, going to other places, they might not have that. So, you know, then I got away from the full body paint because it was just it's a lot. Grey Wolf, he did that. That's his thing. Me, I just do a flash of red and black hair, you know. My design, and I make masks. You know, we touched on my creativity. I make these masks. And basically, I take pictures of Grey Wolf, and then I'm going out creative on this mask.
Okay.
And I do the same with my own self, and with myself because my style, the basic outline is always the same because I only do half my face because I wear the scorpion on the left side. So I do that as well on those masks, and that's actually my canvas to practice. So I'll practice some different designs, and if I like them, then I'll try them out on myself later, and I'll sell them at the shows. But you know, the body paint is definitely something, you know, that was trying and taxing. And I tell you what, once we get that body paint on, you better not touch me. Because if you smear, or you take off my body paint, I'm going to be hollering. You see? So, you know, so I tell you what, though, that was something, you know, that me and him can do. And as a result, you know, like I said, I do a little something different, which also, you know, upregulated the creative juices in Grey Wolf because, you know, then he got a little more creative and started coming up with really funky designs that are really fun to try to recreate on a mat. But, you know, that's my story for the body paint.
Oh my Lord! I mean, all right. So I gotta go back to this. So, Grey Wolf, I'm seeing some of your paint jobs that you have done. You know, I'm not trying to be stupid here, but dear Lord, how long does it take?
I'm sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble here.
How long does it take to, you know, because I saw in one side, did you not paint like your leg too black, and the other one was white, or you left your natural color, and then it's like you were doing all kinds of stuff. I'm going, how long did that take?
You know, it really varies, but in any case, it does take a long time either way. As Scorpion's saying, there are times sometimes I'll do the full body paint where I'll literally take and I'll paint my entire torso and all my legs, you know, completely red, and then I'll do a design on top of that. Sometimes I'll do a little less paint where, you know, I'll paint maybe just a mantle and maybe an arm red, and then with the black on top. It's usually the layered red on the bottom and the black on the top. And it's sort of whatever mood's hitting me at the moment. I try to, you know, always keep my makeup fresh. And I remember, you know, older wrestlers, Ultimate Warrior would do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, Jake the Snake with his tights, and what they would always change the design. It'd always be something different and something new and something cool. You know, you never knew what you were going to see. So Scorpion really has a standard design that he does, and I'm the one that really is changing it now. It's usually the red canvas on my body, you know, as a red ground with some sort of red tribal on top, or, you know, red black tribal and black design on top. Sometimes I'll stagger them, so I'll have red on one side, black on another. Or sometimes, you know, I've done my face black before with a little bit of red. So it's sort of whatever mood's hitting me at the time, whatever I'm feeling creatively. And sometimes it really honestly comes down to, okay, well, we get to a venue at 5:30. We're going to go on first or second. We don't have that much time to really paint. So my entire body it can be a little more trying. So I have my classic design, which I call my black star, which is where I just basically take a layer of black along my eyes and a couple spikes coming off of it. You know, really evil, demonic looking sort of presentation. So that's sort of my go-to if I'm pressed for time, is also just slap on that because it's very quick and very easy to do it. I don't have to use the brush. When you start getting into using the brush and doing more complex designs, it could take up to 45 minutes. But just get your face done. Sitting in front of me, you know, which is funny. If he mentions the Monster Factory, you know, we have good female division over at the Monster Factory. So I'm sitting in, you know, one part of me, Scorpion sitting there, and then we have all the females sitting next to, you know, sitting next to us, taking makeup tips from us. You know, how to do them, we're teaching women how to do makeup. But anyway, it does take quite a while. And as I said, if I'm pressed for time, I'll do something a little less complicated. But if I have, you know, a lot of leisure time, you know, it's very slow backstage, you know, maybe I'll take a little more time, do something a little more, you know, out there, dynamic, something that, you know, is just a little more complicated. And it varies from, you know, from time to time. But Scorpion was attached to, even though he does a lot less paint than I do, it still takes a good deal of time just for him to get on what he gets on. Just because he is so thorough and so meticulous in what he does. So usually it takes us about the same time, but I'll just kind of slather mine on sometimes and do a nice design on top. He'll really take his time and be very meticulous in everything he's doing. Because for me, for the longest time, before I started tagging with him, you know, I'm going into battle. I don't need wall paint to look good. I just need it to look menacing. You know, so I would literally take my fingers, just slap them across my body. That's, you know, traditional, conventional wall paint. Goes from Native American tribes, the Viking tribes, the Celts, you know, sort of transcends African tribal, the tribal warriors who would do the same thing, to sort of slap paint on themselves. So that's sort of what I was accustomed to doing, you know, spirit of the warrior. And he's the one who really, you know, he's looking all pristine and, you know, really great presentation. Here I am just slapping and painting, and I'm like, you know, we should match a little bit better. So I'm going to start doing a little bit more what you do, and maybe complement each other that way. And I feel like you and the look, because we do different paint, really go great part of the overall product and a great part of the presentation. So when we break the curtain, or you see a promotional picture of us, you know, you have it all complementing each other like a piece of artwork would, with even how our paint's done.
Yeah. So
that's sort of, you know, my take on the whole paint thing.
I mean, it's awesome, because for me, one of my favorite wrestlers back in the day was the Ultimate Warrior, was the Road Warrior. Because for me, when you put that paint, it made you feel like you were someone else. It made you just, I guess, it magnified your persona.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about something. I mean, you know, I can't believe it's already 50 minutes through this interview. So you guys are rocking it. Let's talk about this Saturday night, July 25th. Baltimore, Maryland. You got a couple of guys you're wrestling. They're known as, you know, the Briscoes. So, look, like I said, you know, I'm just doing my job, or just doing my show. And I got to say, I'm enjoying the fact I'm watching y'all, because I'm really wanting to see you guys on the main stage. So, talk about this match, how it became, and what should the fans look forward to seeing you guys versus the Briscoes.
I just sold around with enough. I'll let Scorpion take over on this one.
Okay. Well, first off, you're an inspiring wrestler, and you want to be seen, and you want to learn, and you want to become part of Ring of Honor. There is only one way to do it. The only way you can do that is if you partake in one of their tryout seminars. It's a 2-day camp that they do periodically throughout the year, and believe it or not, like if you don't do it, they don't know about you. You know, they've heard about me because Kevin Kelly has said, you know, because of certain particular individuals on the roster, like Red Titus, like JP, that know me, but they didn't know me until they saw me at the seminar. And Grey Wolf did the seminar first, and he did great. He did awesome. I mean, Grey Wolf is, there's no one else like him. And then I came, and I did. And once again, there's no one quite like me either. So, you know, we both did very well at the seminar. And as a result, after I did my July 26, 2014 seminar, I remember getting contacted by Kevin Kelly to do the show in Wheeling, West Virginia. And and he talked about his Black Star. He was getting Darth Maul changed in the arena. It was funny. But that's the way you get looked at for Ring of Honor. You have to do a seminar now. Kevin Kelly came to an LCW event where I'm the Lancaster heavyweight champion, and he had a lot of he was just a blessing to be there, because not only was he there to support indie wrestling, but he was there and he gave lots of advice to all the wrestlers and anybody he could. You know, he had constructive criticism to help them better their game. You know, so that was awesome to have him there. But I wanted to right. So following the show, I remember on this past, I think it was Sunday, I got it because I messaged Kevin Kelly because I didn't get to speak to him after my match, and I really wanted to get his input on it, but I didn't want to be that guy that, you know, everybody was in his ear, you know, and it was late, and I was the last one leaving, and I didn't want to hold him up anymore, you know, so I let him go, but I did message him, and I dropped him my number and told him, you know, if there's, you know, time available that, you know, we could talk about this match, but and he said, you know, he contacted me back, and he asked me if we were available for this Saturday against the Briscoe. I was absolutely. So, we jumped on that opportunity. So now we're about to face the Briscoe Brothers, which, by the way, might I ask to see, and this is straight shoot, they got to be my most favorite tag team. Actually, I love the Briscoe Brothers. They are so real.
On a professional and a personal, on a personal and a professional level.
Oh wow!
Yes, they're awesome, man. Mark Briscoe is just a character. The Scorpion Queen, that is my illustrious, you know, better half of whom I am. The Scorpion Queen. She loves Mark Briscoe. He's a trip. Redneck Kung Fu, man. I tell you what, he could bring that Redneck Kung Fu and put it up against my Scorpion Kung Fu, and we'll see who's better. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be fun, believe it. We're going to have a blast, and like I said, me and Jay will have the utmost respect for these guys.
Absolutely.
And like you said, we want to become part of that roster. So now what it's about is going to this show this weekend and putting on the best performance we can to win that crowd. No disrespect to the Briscoe Brothers. Again, I've got a lot of respect for them, but trust me, should they get put up in that bloody, oh, somebody's going to fall. And when they fall, the heavens will open up, and the blood shall rain from the sky, and we will be victorious. Brainwolf, how are you?
Not much I can really say that Scorpion hasn't really already said. I mean, the infinite amount of respect I have for the Briscoes, just on a very personal level. I've known them, you know, for quite a few years now, both Mark and Jay, and they've always gone out of their way to just be personable with me. And, you know, I developed a friendship with both of them, and, you know, what better way to show them how much respect I have than to give them all I have in that ring. You know, I'd want no less than somebody that has respect for me, giving me all the respect they have and showing it to me by giving me everything they have and bringing the whole arsenal at me. I mean, that's the greatest way I think somebody could show their respects towards me, and I fully intend to do the same to both Mark and Jay. And I feel very privileged to be in there, you know, with these two individuals, being somebody I have known for years and I have so much respect for. You know, who better to wrestle at Ring of Honor in this event than who I consider one of the greatest tag teams in the world, unfortunately not signed by, you know, WWE when they had, you know, the opportunity to sign them and bring them in, because I think they're contenders and probably better than anybody tag team wise on the mainstream roster there. But they are where they belong, and they're in the perfect spot now. They're getting national exposure, and I do consider them one of the best tag teams in the world. And I just have the privilege to compete against, you know, who I consider one of the best tag teams in the world, and who have been friends to me, and who on a personal and a professional level I respect so much. is such a great honor, and I will do them honor by bringing everything I have in combat. And they better watch out for the Blood Eagle, because as Scorpion said, once you're in the Blood Eagle, you can be a man, and you can hold in that screaming. You can take it. Or you can whimper, you can cry, you can bring disrespect and dishonor to yourself, as many have done, as I clench him on my back. And Scorpion hits the ropes and comes off with his flying neckbreaker. All you hear is one scream of agony before you hear our bodies hit the mat in a great thunderous collision. And then you hear the 1, 2, 3, followed by our music. And that is what we intend to bring to the Briscoe brothers this weekend, is that very scenario.
Man, that's hype right there. I'm down with that. I'm going to tell you guys, I love that statement, what you said about you're going to give, that's honor. Giving everything you've got to the business and giving it in this match. Tag team wrestling, my thing is, I love where you had the power teams, the teams that brawl, the teams that power, the technicians, and I feel like tag team wrestling has taken a slip down, but the indies has definitely picked it up because there's so many tag teams out there. But I got to say, I love seeing you guys because you're just a cut above the rest. I love the look. It just draws you more. I get, I can tell you guys can play heel, but I got to imagine that crowd has to pop for you guys too.
Mm-hmm. Usually with babyface wherever we go. For the most part, I don't think, have we even been heel yet? I think we were here one time. At ECWA, and even still, we broke the curtain trying to be heels, and they wouldn't. We got the Road Warriors pop, even if they're heels, they pop for us.
That's awesome, though. That's because you remember, once you heard the Road Warriors music, everyone got up on their feet, because you didn't know how, one, you knew the match wasn't going to be long, but two, you just knew that someone was going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Tag teams right now in this division in indie wrestling, who are guys that you just absolutely enjoy wrestling? I know you mentioned the Briscoes, but who else out there that you just, when you see their names next to yours, that both y'all get excited about?
Fairly recently, we had the opportunity to wrestle another person I respect immensely, and who are two people who are good friends of mine, and that's international superstar Cage and his partner Sean Carr. Now, we had the opportunity to wrestle him fairly recently at Legacy Wrestling, and I just knew going in, because I've been friends with Cage and Carr for so long, but especially Cage for a little bit longer. And just him and I are, pretty close friends in the locker room, and I just have a lot of respect for him. So, going into that, if you're wrestling somebody like that, you can just beat the bloody hell out of each other, and it's going to be a spectacle. And that's what we did. And we went, I think, a good 15, 20 minutes in that match. With the athleticism, the amazing athleticism of Sean Carr, and the things he's capable of doing in the ring, his flips and his, agility, and Cage just being a monster of a man, big powerhouse like ourselves. It's the first time I had ever heard, he's going to start the match. And I believe one for a tackle, and neither of us moved. And the fans, it's the first time I ever heard them chanting for a test of strength. They wanted to see a test of strength between Cage and myself. Usually I see people get bored because so many people, especially lighter people, under 200 pounds, trying to do a test of strength, and it doesn't get over very well. Him and I just looked at each other from across the ring. If they want it, they've got it. So I thought that was to have somebody actually want to see the big test of strength between the two big, strong men, I thought was really, really cool. But yeah, them definitely. A big shout out also to Shooters Inc., who are the current Monster Factory Pro Wrestling heavyweight champions. Yeah, and there's just, again, so many people I could name, but top of my list right now is probably, those two teams, along with, of course, the Briscoes.
Oh, man. All right. What say you, Rescorp?
Yeah, like you said, he accidentally said heavyweight, but they're the tag team.
I'm sorry, tag team champions. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, that's okay. I tell you what, that match at Legacy was rough. That Legacy, by the way, is a new federation that's coming out. It's a super indie promotion, I should say. They're really bringing in a lot of talent, big indies, stars. They're working with DJ Hyde, or I should say DJ Hyde probably trying to take over or something like that with CZW. So, but yeah. So we're in this match, and I tell you, I get my butt whooped. I took a beating. Like I ain't never took a beating before. I don't think I've ever taken a beating like that before from any tag team that we've ever faced. I took a lot of the heat, and mind you, I just had knee surgery. So this show was June 6th. My knee surgery was May 5th.
Mm.
And yeah. So, but it was a battle, and I'll give them all the credit. That was a very unique team against a lot of the things that Cage lacks, Card makes up, and vice versa. So they become a complete team in that respect. Then there's a lot of teams. I mean, we faced a lot of teams, but we've never faced many teams a second time. Because after we're done with them, they want no part of us.
No,
again. I mean,
we have dinner. They don't want seconds.
Yeah, no, they don't want seconds. Have we ever faced? I think we faced one team.
Milk chocolate.
Now. Milk chocolate. Who don't like milk chocolate? I know I like me some milk chocolate.
They were delicious when we ate them.
Oh, they were delicious. Oh, they were so delicious. And by the way, the black guy happens to be milk, and the white guy has to be chocolate. But they were delicious. Oh, yes, they were. I consume them again. They were fun, though. They were a lot of fun.
I'm going to have to look that match up. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're actually getting up to that hour point. And also, I promised certain Grey Wolf that he could destroy someone in his workout regiment. So I don't want to hold him back on that. I am a man of my word. So I appreciate you guys giving me your time. What's the best ways to book you? The best way to contact you guys. And just know the YouTube link's going to get uploaded. We're going to post it on the Bloodbound Warriors Facebook page and also your guys' pages. And just basically we're going to share this out so much. But I want to thank you as a fan in indie wrestling. Thank you for everything done. Thank you for your professionalism. And thank you for just being who you are. Because that draws fans.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to let you shoot Grey Wolf, and then Mark, final thoughts. Both of y'all have at it.
Sure. Well, first, if I may, I first want to give a shout out to Regina, if she's listening. Regina, I love you. You always support me. One of my biggest supporters for the past several years. I'd give a shout out to my wife, Kat. And also, if anybody's interested in becoming a professional wrestler, visit the Monster Factory or monsterfactory.org. That's one of the best places to go if you want to become a professional wrestler, really pursue this as a serious craft. But if you want to get a hold of us, we both have our personal Facebook accounts. Mine is facebook.com/xGreyWolfX. You can touch with me from there. Also, you have my fan page that I manage, and that is facebook.com/t.l.w.greywolf, GREYWOLF. And also Twitter account is the @TLW_Greywolf. So those are the ways to get in touch with me. You can touch with me through Facebook. You can touch with me through Twitter. Or you can touch with my partner, the Scorpion, and always in contact with each other. So you can contact one to book both of us. And then there's the Bloodbound Warriors page. I'm not sure exactly the link, but if you type in the Bloodbound Warriors on the Facebook search bar, we're the only people that are going to come up, and you can't mistake us at all. So that's the way to get in contact with myself personally, and Scorpion will give you the information for it.
Yes, and I would like to shout out to Kim, the Afro-Central Queen. Oh, she just had knee surgery and is actually in the hospital, and is unable to make it to the event this weekend. So, Scorpion and Grey Wolf, Bloodbound Warriors, send their best wishes to you and hope you get well real soon.
You love it to me.
Yes. Now, as far as my own stuff goes, yes, you can. I'm on Facebook. Yeah, you can just type in the Red Scorpion, and my name's gotta come up. It's better because I tell you, Facebook got this thing where they don't like you to use one of their names, but it is my other name in parentheses. So hopefully I come up, but unfortunately I come up as Mark Hazel. And don't you dare, if you didn't know me before I was a Red Scorpion, don't you dare come up to me and call me Mark. Because I'm liable to TK Scorpio your ass right there on the spot.
If I don't call him Mark, neither should you.
Yeah, and, right. And my fan page then is the Red Scorpion, comma Marquezo, because if you don't use the Marquezo, and I should have said this, you're going to get the movie, The Red Scorpion, which is, again, one of my favorite movies, 1988. I had a Red Scorpion on my chest, just like he did. And then the Twitter account is at Red Scorpion 717. And our Twitter page is, he probably said it, but it's at Bloodbound War. Bloodbound War.
I gotta say, Red Scorp.
One more thing. One more thing. I just thought about this. I forgot. You asked about. There's my YouTube channel. I put up all our matches that I record, and again, you can just you can search us, hit the blue link that says the Red Scorpion, Simon Marquezo, to get to see the matches. But there is a YouTube channel as well that I help run and that I put up all our matches on. So, yep.
Tell you what, I mean, for some reason you're just very hype. I just, but it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah, I like that. So, and just so you know, we definitely have that channel on our C Double All Wrestling Talk page where we put some of the channels of guests that have been on our show. So I love going on there, looking it up, you guys' matches. Guys, once again, Grey Wolf, Red Scorp, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Anytime you guys want to do this, just shoot me a message. We got this. We'll do it.
Sure. Everything we mentioned, just a couple of events we have coming up.
Yes, sir. Please do.
We have the LCW Keystone Cup coming up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania on August 14th and 15th. So you folks aren't going to want to miss that. Big tag team tournament involving Scorpion and myself. Personally, if you want to see me singles, I have a big match coming up against Pretty Jimmy Dream August 29th in Harrington, Delaware, I believe it is, for First State Championship Wrestling for the Indie Roundup title. So we both do have quite a bit coming up tag team and singles.
Okay, Mr. Red Scorp, you got something?
Yeah, I know. As far as what I have coming up, most recently, I'm going to be partaking in the Legends Camp in North Carolina, which I hope to learn a lot from. But I'll be in sync with the action. Oh no, that's right. We're going to be tagging. We're in that tournament, the Keystone Cup. I'm kind of like all over the place, and I don't like the way my phone sets up this calendar thing. But yeah, hey, look like stuff. You'll see it.
All right. Well, guys, look, thank you again for being on the show. I enjoy
Thank you
y'all.
very much.
You guys have my number now. Anytime, please call. Love to have you guys. And we got to get you down to Georgia. Really, we do. I'd love to see y'all, show up in Monroe and Anarchy and PCW. We're going to have to make something happen to get you guys up.
Anything's possible.
Oh, yeah. I'll make sure and get those guys your contact info so they can get a hold of you.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, you guys take care. And like I said, one day we'll meet and we're going to have a good time. Y'all take it easy.
Oh.
There you have it. Wow, that was a very awesome show. I love having these guys. The hour went by fast. I wish we could have had more time, but like I said, Grey Wolf has a regiment that he likes to keep with, so we definitely at All Wrestling Talk respects that. With that being said, All Wrestling Talk would like to mention that on July 28th, we are partnering up with the Red Devil Radio Network, and All Wrestling Talk will be having, basically, that's the name, All Wrestling Talk Nations. You will hear all kinds of info. You're going to hear us discuss mainstream, also the indie scene, even talk and refer to our interviews. Also, this coming football season, Mr. C Double himself, that's me, will be calling Red Devil football games. So can't wait to team up with the voice of the Red Devil Network, Radio Network. That's Josh Truby. We're going to have a great time. Upcoming shows, well, it's real simple, guys. I had a picture of Mr. Logan Creed. Sorry, I'm not going to try to, hold on. Source went out. Go to the source plugin, fast file. Now, hold on. Let's refresh it. Anyway, Logan Creed, in the box that's missing, will be on our show on Wednesday, July 29th, 8 p.m. Now, I'm going to be posting a link of him and Drew Adler, who just won the Southern Fried Tag Team Championships against the Bald Besties. That's going to be a match. They didn't go for those belts, but they are the new tag champs. August 15th, bang for your buck. You're going to see those guys in action against the Bald Besties. So that's why we're going to show that link. Annie Ruth on Thursday, 8 p.m. So that's the schedule for this coming week's show. Like I said, check out the podcast. Check out All Wrestle Talk. We are looking for more sponsors. But, guys, I just want to thank y'all. I want to thank, Southern Fried Wrestling for giving us opportunity to work together. Chris Nims, thank you for your August 21st show that you invited us to. All Wrestling Talk is trying to showcase indie wrestling. We're not trying to take over. We're just wanting to showcase you guys. So, looking forward to it. Stay tuned to All Wrestling Talk Nations.webs.com. That's where you're going to get exclusive info and also exclusive information. This Saturday, you want to go to Cornelia, Georgia? Make sure you make that step, because when you go there, it's going to be anarchy, big-time shows. You're going to love it. Like I said, guys, I'm C Double. I love y'all. Appreciate the love you've been doing and everything that's going down. Once again, thank y'all so much. And you know what? I mean, we could talk for hours, but I'm really tired. A lot of work today. Don't mind the DCWM exclusive shoot. We're going to re-air that. We're going to reformat that one. Had a lot of sound issues, so I want to apologize for that. We're going to have Taco and Cody back on. All I'm going to say is on that real quick, it's just real simple. If you promise to pay people, you pay them. And if you're running a show and you're saying they shouldn't be paid, maybe you need to not run a show, because you're not stepping up to what you're supposed to be. I'm C Double. This is All Wrestling Talk Nation. Excuse the burp. I'm out.